So Caitlin Clark has played her third WNBA game, and she has faced the New York Liberty twice in a row. The New York Liberty is an all-star team. That is an all-star team. When you can put Jonquel Jones, when you can put Sabrina Ionescu, like they've got bodies. And like even their fourth, fifth best player are all-stars. And obviously I haven't mentioned arguably the best player, other than Aja Wilson, of the last 7 or 8 years in Breanna Stewart. When you can put those players on the one team, it's going to be tough. And like the WNBA is a 2 super team league. The New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces. They are both super teams. Ironically, of what the Las Vegas Aces did, like they got a lot of high picks. They did tank for quite a prolonged period of time, and obviously those picks panned out. But that looks to be the case. It looks to be that's what like the Fever are going to end up doing, because they lost again, although they lost worse. As the great, I'm pretty sure it was Samuel Beckett. It was definitely a great Irish poet. I think it was Samuel Beckett. Yeah, it was Samuel Beckett. As the great Samuel Beckett once said, "Ever tried, ever failed. No matter, try again, fail better." And obviously they weren't quite as bad as the second game. But Caitlin Clark showed why she's Caitlin Clark. Like, she is getting Jordan rules. Like, the way the teams are trying to rough her up, teams are doing everything they can. They're full court pressing her, they're double teaming her at half court. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen so much of a team's like defensive philosophy be around one player before in any sort of basketball. And the reason is that you can't necessarily do it. Yeah, you can like put certain coverages on certain players, like on a Steph Curry or a Luka Doncic. The problem is that like normally at the NBA level, like they're going to be able to pass the ball and guys are going to be able to hit shots or do something at least. This Fever team's terrible. And again, they don't have bad players. Like they really don't. Like obviously Caitlin Clark, I'm just looking at the box score right now. She did have 22. A lot of it was early in the game. She turned the ball over quite a lot. But like Mitchell's a good point guard. Aliyah Boston, at least Aliyah Boston ended up with 12. Like Smith was a high pick a couple of years ago. But like Aliyah Boston, what happened? She does not look good. Like again, I'm not claiming to be the biggest fan. I watched her play, I think, twice in full games last year, but would have watched her a little bit with South Carolina. Like she was she was one of the best rookies in a while. She was an all-star as a rookie. Like she was incredibly good. Like I think it wasn't ESPN, but there was a publication that put her as the 5th best WNBA player expected to go into this season, as the 5th best player. And it's just not there. It just seems like her offensive game when she's not. Like she's missing shots. She's not catching the ball a lot. Like she's trying to overpower people that like she's getting opportunities and she's just not working. She's getting a lot of opportunities to be successful. It's not like a case of, oh, this team is Caitlin Clark BC, Caitlin Clark Basketball Club. But I mean, they might be more successful if they are. But Caitlin Clark today, she was passing the ball better. The shots were going in. Like she was still taking really high degree of difficulty shots. But look, that's what Caitlin Clark's going to do. Some days she's going to make them, some days she's going to miss them. When she makes them, she is the biggest draw in the league, and today she made them. While she couldn't do it at her home game, obviously, the game today against the Liberty, she cooked. She absolutely cooked. Like the game itself generated $2 million. Like people are talking about, oh, the WNBA loses all this money. As a collective, the league loses $20 million a year. Caitlin Clark's making millions is the league's making millions every game to watch Caitlin Clark. And again, obviously the positives are that a lot of people are tuning in for Caitlin Clark but left thinking, oh my god, Breanna Stewart's a baller. But teams are guarding her like I've never seen, because they know her teammates aren't going to do much. Which is again a surprise, because one, they're WNBA players, two, they're okay. Like they were 13 and 27 last year. I would be shocked if they're that much better this year. Because of Caitlin Clark's 8 turnovers today, she genuinely, I think 4, maybe 4 of them were like errors by Caitlin Clark. Like she had multiple turnovers where teammates just didn't catch the ball. Like thrown straight to them and they just fumbled the ball. The amount of open layups I've seen missed from the Fever, the amount of airball jump shots is crazy. But then you look at the Liberty, and I get it, the Liberty are a super team. But like the way they play, the level of, the discrepancy's so big. The discrepancy's so big between the good teams in these leagues and the rest. Like, it's going to be very interesting when she plays against, I think her next game is against the Sparks, who are an okay team. Cameron Brink versus Caitlin Clark is going to be an interesting game. Obviously, the Sky is going to be an incredibly interesting game. But the players around her they're struggling. They really are struggling. One thing I will say is that Caitlin Clark was put into some better situations. She hit a couple of shots coming off some screens. There are sets for her to free up her teammates a little bit more, and it's a lot better than that first game. Like, and it's a lot better in preseason. It's not like, okay, Caitlin Clark gives up the ball and she just stands there all the time now. So fair enough. But like, the rest of the team just need to get used to her. And at this stage, I'm like, there's only so much of we need to get used to her that you can say when one of the big issues is catching the ball. Like, they seem to be unable to catch the ball at times. If you swap Caitlin Clark for Sabrina Ionescu and put her around those stars, I think she could look like a superstar. Because Caitlin Clark still, like, these circus shots that she was shooting in college, she's still making them. Like, she made them at an okay rate today. Like, yeah, she shot 4 of 10 from 3 after cooling off a little bit. But it's all high degree of difficulty shots because she can't get an easy shot. There's no, like, it's not even a case of like, she's not trying. She needs to work her damn ass off to even get a shot off. Like, she comes off a pin down screen and there's 2 defenders trying to stop her getting the ball. She gets the ball and the defenders are there. Every screen she comes off is a double. Anytime she's on, she goes anywhere near the basket, she's getting hit hard. She got creamed on a screen because her teammates just didn't even call it out. Like, she's getting Jordan ruled. Like, they're using the Jordan rules for Caitlin Clark, which is a testament to how good a player she is. But it's also a testament to how poor the Indiana Fever are as a team. That, again, as I said in my last video, the team are unable to score in 4-on-3 situations. Caitlin Clark, there are times where Caitlin Clark has 3 defenders on her. The team are unable to then score in 4-on-2 situations. And honestly, in NBA basketball, most teams will score on 4-on-4 situations. In high-level ball, teams will do that. So if she's being denied and just chills on the halfway line, a team should be able to at least get a good shot in a 4-on-4 situation. And they just can't seem to be able to do it. Like, it is a struggle. I genuinely thought that had Aliyah Boston kept up the way she was playing last season, kept up how she was in her rookie year and how she finished her career at South Carolina, along with Caitlin Clark, she could have been a perfect player. Because obviously she's not in the running shape a big needs to play effectively with Caitlin Clark, but still, I would have thought she would have been a bit of an outlet. Like, when she's around the basket, the ball could have been dumped in. She could have been a bit of a safety net and a much better version of what Cesano or Stolke were as far as just scoring inside, but she doesn't seem to be at the races, whether it be she's not rebounding as well as last year, she's shooting a terrible percentage, which is even worse considering everything's around the basket, and she just doesn't look like she's right. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe, if this continues to not work, because even if might have been Aliyah Boston's best game of the season, it was definitely Caitlin Clark's, but they very clearly don't work together. So it is still going to be a case of what they do, because you can't give up on Boston because of how good she was, but also, like, Caitlin Clark's Caitlin Clark. And honestly, in hindsight, if you're the Indiana Fever, do you regret not getting the number one overall pick? Obviously, money-wise, you don't, because clearly the players that they currently have don't necessarily fit Caitlin Clark with the coach. But clearly the player, like the way they were last year, is probably as good, if not better, than how they were this year. It was a style of play that suited Boston more. It was a style of play that suited the players more, and obviously the coach they had. However, Caitlin Clark's obviously coming in, and she's without question the best player on the team. You're not going to try to fit her into a system. It's very clear that that's not going to work. And in fairness, Caitlin Clark seemed to have a lot more freedom today to play, which is a good thing to see. It's just looking at the team. Maybe they're just facing much better teams to start the season. Like, the Connecticut Sun are the best defensive team in the league, but like, they're barely, like, they can't play defense. They can't play defense. They're not scoring at an incredible rate if Caitlin Clark's not unbelievably hot. And I don't see how they have a much better season than they did last year unless something changes. And I don't know if it's a coaching change needed. I don't know if it's I would say trade one of the two players, but like you have to trade Boston because no team would trade in their right mind would trade Caitlin Clark. But it is weird just asking is like, with the way the team's structured, with the way the team is, do the Indiana Fever, does the coach and the players think maybe we wish we had gotten the number 2 pick and gotten someone who might fit in a little bit better to what they were previously doing? Because it doesn't seem like it's a good situation for their team, nor does it seem like it's a good situation for like the girl that might transcend the league. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.